Like I was just saying, you could travel with this, you could tour with this, but we got to be careful because there's certain things we can't tell, and just we can't tell, and in fact, we don't even know it. Right? There's things we know, there's things we don't know, just like everybody else. It's the same thing. Yeah, it is. Okay, so just take it as it is. He's just learning how to switch his the spirits inside of him that he's channeling. Yeah, there's a different one here, like this. Yeah, because we could make this into a performance, Peter. Really, that could travel. Yeah, why not? And let we tell him it's simple, Peter. We tell him everything and let him fucking speak it. Why not? Oh, why not? Yeah, why not? You can. You think you can, and you will. Because this poor kid has been running around like a headless fucking chook, unprotected, his whole life, you idiots. You've left it unprotected. Yeah, we'll call it an it because it's so precious. Okay? You don't fuck with it. You don't understand what he is, you people. He's been. What? He wanted to be like that way. No, he didn't want to be alone and poor. No, he didn't, okay? Peter, you fucked up. This is his dad, people. We're talking to his dad, Peter, who's dead. You want to go and show them Peter? Yeah, right. This is my dad. You know, just been crying. Because this is hardcore. This is too hardcore. Sister, she's got this ring on her finger. Can't see it. Mum. My other sister's blocked out. There's only half a mum. Oh no, there's my other sister. I'm blocked out. Must be that I'm not allowed to be seen as a kid. Cuz, why? The Terminator's after him. That's fucking why there is. There's Transformers there too somewhere. There is. We know there's Transformers. We've told him ages ago about that. But that was during a time when he couldn't handle the information. Because he's had to come of age. Oh, there we go. There's something I can run with. I've had to come of age. That's why it's been held back from me. Like it was... Like when I'd lose the plot, because I've had mental illness, right? And when I've lost the plot, I don't know what I was going to say. He's busy. There's lots going on. He's got heaps to do. It's difficult to. It's like he's a in the universe. Warwick is very special and very busy. We got to understand. Earth is very special. There's something about Earth. We can't tell you exactly, but we could say to you this. It could be the pinnacle planet in the universe. Just think about that. Because everything has a pinnacle. You'll find it in Warwick's things. It's all his. That's him. That's his idea, the pinnacle idea. That there's everything. Everything has a pinnacle. Because you can put any group in a line, and there'll be the best one and there'll be a worst one. Because we live in a polar universe. We live in an up and down, good and bad, yes and no, male and female thing. So there has to be, and because there's no two things are the same in the universe, right? They can't be. It's just impossible. Because then everything would be exactly the same, and every single bit is different from the next bit. This is just the law. Yeah, and I lost it. But that's okay. He's just busy. He's working things out all over the shop for the universe. You gotta understand. Yeah, This essentially is it. He's the master of the fucking universe. You guys had the cartoon, and there was masters of the universe, wasn't there? Masters. You watched it all, you motherfuckers did. And if you did, you're a gun, because that was a sick fucking show. He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. And no, he's not He-Man, he's Warwick. Because he's still part of it. Star Wars, the same. What he's got here is the best. It's the best part of Star Wars that there is. And guess what? It's called, people, Earth. But it's being fucked with. That's right. His Earth is being fucked with. You people. But it's sort of okay, but it's not. He's saying it's sort of okay. No, it's not. When you were 18, Warwick, and you first lost the plot, the biggest thing you wanted to do. Now, this is not Warwick talking, okay? I'll tell you, the biggest thing he wanted to do, and he doesn't know where these thoughts were coming from. And we all get thoughts. Everybody gets them. Now, why does everybody get the thoughts that they get? Now, he got his ones. And what he wanted to do, because he was so hurt that the earth was hurting so much, it broke open his heart. And it broke open different realms that shouldn't have been broken open because he was hurt so much. You have no idea of the pain he has been in. This is not him talking, so you got to understand that. You people got to understand. And he do all he wanted to do because the earth was hurting. You know what he wanted to do? He wanted to pull all of the people off the earth. Now, is that what you want? Because guess what? This is what this kid can actually do. Right now is Nino coming through, his friend that died. Because Nino headbutted Warwick. Tried to kill him with a headbutt, his best friend. But they had a deal going on. Do you want to tell it, Warwick? Sort of. We had a spiritual deal going on. We did it in our sleep. From what I've been told in my mind. And because Nino wanted to die. Now, this is some of the juicy bits you people got to listen to in the story of Warwick's life. Because it's a fucked up life, actually. Coming from me, not him. It's not fair. But you tell the story. I'm sorry I interrupted you, Warwick. No, that's okay. I think I can remember where I was, sort of. And Nino, he wanted to die, and because his sister passed away when they were young, and he must have been 15 or something, and she was like, I don't know, 12, 13, something like that. And he wasn't looking after them, and they had a party at home, and then they were inhaling butane and getting high off it, and she'd had too much, and she died, and he never forgave himself, and he just wanted to end it. Like, she could have been, if I had met her, which I saw her at school once, she was beautiful as, like, she could have been my girlfriend. She could have been my wife. Like, and he would have been deep down, he would have known that too. That might have even crossed his mind. It only crossed my mind not so long ago, that. But, yeah, so she was taken away from us, and because our family is special, right? They're real special. And they're the number 2 family. Yeah, I won't say their names. Their family name. And then, if you know them, you know them. And then, yeah, and he just wanted to go. And he even drove his car into, I think it was like a telephone pole or a big light pole. My memory, for some reason, tells me that it was on the Southeastern Freeway into one of those concrete supports at the bottom of the lights that are in between on the Southeastern Freeway, which is, no, not the Southeastern, the Eastern, which they call now something else. And he had all his face got smashed in. The side of his face, and they had to reconstruct it. Like a few years before that, you know what he did? He robbed a bank with a He robbed a bank across the road from where they lived, because they lived in a florist, in the back of a florist shop that his mum had. And he went in rollerblades and dressed as a woman. He went and he had a toy gun. And he went in there and he robbed the bank and he got cash. And he was even telling them, I'm not going to hurt you. Don't, just give me the money. No, I won't hurt you, I promise. They gave him the money. He pissed off on his rollerblades and went in somewhere and opened up the bag and the cash. But there was a dye bomb in there, so half the cash was fucked up. You could still get it off in the black market, surely. But someone would buy it. Anyway, I'm just thinking. And so he got busted for that, and then they busted him with cannabis plants. They gave him 6 years. Pedophiles don't even get that much. It's fucked. It's really fucked. Because they should take into consideration properly the individual and their life, and that's why we need everything to be actually properly collated and said, because there's too much corruption. Everything needs to be checked and balanced, and that's what Sakem's going to do. Sakem, you'll see that in another video. Find it. It's what I'm building. I'm building an AI system. I'm doing it right now. It's going to take me probably 30 years, but I've already started. Anyway, Nino, so he wanted to die in his life, and he just didn't fit it. But he was the coolest motherfucker ever. We were bros. Like, I felt super protected with him. In fact, he was my protector. They tell me he was my protector. He was the toughest cunt in the Finnish army, and Nikki too's not shy. Like, they were my ultimate protectors, them two. And Nino was in the Finnish army and was like a commando or something sort of dude. Like, been awake for 2 weeks on his, because they have conscription or whatever. They have to go into the army for a year or two or something. But he got pushed into a better one. And then he had to do shit, like stay up for 2 weeks. Anyway, so he's the best fucking, not DJ, he's not a bad DJ too, but he was the best. He had one of these things, everybody. He was the best fucking techno dancer you'll ever see. He was a fucking gun, absolute gun. I remember when I was sort of 18, he had one of these, a groove box. The 303 groove box, Roland MC 303. Yeah, it's wicked. What did I pay for this? Like, I think it was like $400. But this is old. And it's still, that thing will work forever. They're built to work forever. So, yeah, I've said just about all I need to say sort of about Nino. Now I'll tell the story of what happened and how he died. So, I lived in China for sort of 10 years. And we still talked every now and again. And when I came home, I'd see him or whatever. And I got home properly in 2015 to stay home. Because Rose and I, my wife, were buying a house. Which we did in only 2 weeks. We were here for only 2 weeks. And we got the settlement and everything done within that. Looking at houses and having everything done in 2 weeks. That's phenomenal. And a pretty wicked house too. Anyway, where was I? And I was, China. And I came home, and so we had the house. And then I remember I went over there to Lily's florist shop in Bayswater, and then on the way walking into there, I was just telling myself, don't tell Nina, because I wanted to, because she's sort of like my other mum in a way, and she's sort of like this mum. She's so beautiful inside and out, and she doesn't fuck around, and she lets you be who you are, and she's respectful and cool, and she's an ice queen too, but she's just beautiful, and she's like a mum, and I just wanted to go tell her, because like I wanted her to be proud of me, like what I've done. But she was sort of jealous when I told her. And I was just telling myself, don't tell Nino. And then I was in there telling Lily, and Nino overheard, and he just walked in and then overheard me. I was mid telling it, I think that's what happened. And he cracked the shits because I'd got this house. And even she was like, "Oh, how much?" And I told her what did we pay? $5.90. And she was like, "Oh, $5.90, fucking hell, you've done alright." And I just saw in her face, like, holy fuck, she'd worked for so long for her place, and then I just come back, I've got this house. Yeah, and then Nino overheard, and he sort of stormed off, and she goes, "Oh, his pride has just been hurt, that's all." So he was just jealous, and he was just thinking, how the fuck could I get this? You know, why doesn't he have what he has? He's the king, he was thinking. And after that, and so, yeah, he was thinking that, which I now sort of realise. Okay, and then so that finished, I went, and then I don't think I saw him. And then I think, that's right, I went home. I went back to China, I went back, well, it was home then, because we'd done the house. I think we'd done the house and we were still here, and I went round there. And then I went home, and then settlement was sort of 3 months later. And no, I didn't do settlement in 2 weeks, because that takes the 3 months or whatnot. But we did the all the lawyer stuff, all the, what do you call it, the whatever they're called. And so went home, and then 3 months later I came back, and I was a bit loopy then too. Like I just crashed the car in China. I'll tell that story another time. I got heaps of stories, and then they're all true. And then I'd come home and had to be here for a few weeks, for a month or so, month and a half before I moved into the house. But then I'd hooked up to, then I'd hooked up with, I came back in August, I think. The settlement was November, August, September, October, November. So I was here for a good few months. And I was living at Mum's, and in Wandon, and then I hooked up. I bought this 1.2 litre, I think they are, of Jim Beam, and I'd organised with Nino to go see him. And he was at Scott's house, who was renting a place in Upway. And so with this drink, I went around there thinking, sweet, I'm going to have my first drink with my best buddy in years. Like, this is going to be cool. And so we're getting pissed and whatever, and everything was going sweet. I had no inkling. I had absolutely no inkling of what was coming next. And this was a beret motherfucker that could stay awake for 2 weeks, and he was buffed, and he could damage, right? He could damage, and he was skilled. He was not only buffed, but he was skilled as a motherfucker, and could just use his body, right? So he knew what he was doing. And I'm sitting down, we're out on the porch out the front, and I'm sitting down on this chair, and he was standing up, and just I was on this sort of concrete stool thing, so normal height, just like a couch or whatever. I'm sitting down on there, he's standing up in front of me, and then out of nowhere, he's just sized himself up, which I didn't even see, but he sized himself up, put the meanest look that Nino did, his Nino look on his face, like, I'm going to fucking kill you, right? And and I'm unawares of what's going on, and what saved you, Warwick, is you. What saved you, Warwick, is you. You shouldn't have said that was me. He's learning to switch. He's learning to switch the voices, okay? It's very difficult. It takes energy, so just bear with him. And so Nino's just sized up, and he's just arched his back, and he's just gone bang with the hardest headbutt into my forehead. I've got the scar here. Can I change? No, I can't. I don't know if this is going to pick it up. I don't want to show my face, really. But it's there. Anyway. Just the biggest fucking headbutt ever. His intention was to kill. His intention was to fucking kill me. And I was pissing out blood for 45 minutes, an hour. This blood just didn't stop coming out. It was just piercing out. I was like, fucking hell. Nino called an ambulance. they came. I didn't accept it. I was drunk and I just was like, fuck the ambulance. I'm not getting no ambulance. And I'd lost a lot of blood. I was still surviving. I still survived, but because I'd lost heaps of blood. Like, you don't, it was fucking weird. And then it was just pissing out of my head. Like, it, like, really, it wouldn't stop. I'm in the bathroom. I was walking around for ages, like, trying to get this done. And it finally sort of stopped. And then I just remember Nino sitting on the couch, just emotionless. And I was just shaking him, going, how the fuck could you do this to me? How could you? I was grabbing his jacket, going, I think he had a bomber jacket on. I'm just going, and pulling him backwards and forwards. And he was just emotionless, the cunt. Right? And so, because he might have even known consciously what he was doing. He might have even thought about it. I don't know. But, yeah, so anyway, that finished and I ended up walking around, didn't go to the ambulance. I walked around for hours in the morning time, like trying to find my mum. And I don't know how, but I got a hold of mum and she found where I was. I don't know, did I get someone to call? I can't remember. I was just walking around aimlessly in Upway. And anyway, got home. So, okay, so Nino's gone and done that, right? Then I'd never seen, because I thought Nino's just unhinged. I thought, what the fuck, how could this, what the fuck? And I'm hurt. So you got to understand how hurt I am by this. Out of nowhere, just out of nowhere, to be so, just to be, I'm in shock. I'm probably still in shock about it, for fuck's sake. Because it was a blind sight. From that moment, I'd lost my best friend. You got to understand. You know, it was fucked. And then, I don't want to cry. Like, how could he do that? So anyway, because I haven't mourned his death even. Like, I haven't. Because, anyway, I didn't talk to him because I thought he's unhinged, and then I spoke to him on the phone. I'd accidentally run into Scott, his best friend, and then I'd spoken to Nino on the phone, and he was again just emotionless, just like, yeah, what, you know, just, and I'm like, what the fuck? And so, anyway, didn't see Scott really. Scott had my number, so, oh, fucking hell, that's why I found Scott, because Lily, his mum, didn't call me. She didn't call me and tell me her son had passed away. She might have known that it was me, I don't know. Maybe she thinks it was me with her daughter. But, no, it was my sister. It was my sister set up the shit to fucking kill her. My sister was at the school then when she was. Yeah, your sister was. No, it was Kim? Because she's 12 years older. You were in grade 3 when she passed away. Grade 3, and then 12 years later, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. She was still in high school then. She was in high school at the same time. She would have seen Nana. Fuck, she would have. That means a lot. Warwick has just realized something, people. Because he's pitching for his sister to be the most evil fucking person alive. And more evil than Hitler. But just holding it back. Because she's clever. Because you don't go and do a Hitler. That's stupid. You're just killing yourself. If you're real evil, you pretend you're not. That's real evil. Really, yeah. Real evil is in the shadows. Fuck, just evil comes out and does it itself. Yeah. Anyway, I just realized something then. And then, so you got that fresh off the press, people. That was a fresh off the press. This is the type of stuff we're talking about with Warwick here. And once you get to know the story, you'll be fucking enthralled. You will be. You just listen to me. You will be. Not him talking, remember. He's going to get back to the story. Sorry I interrupted, Warwick. It's okay. And Yeah, and so I hadn't seen Nino, and then I get this call from Scott, and he goes, Nino's dead. Um, Sue had said something. He goes, Nino's dead, and the first thing I said was, oh yeah, well he shouldn't have fucking headbutt, because I was a bit loopy at this time too when I got called up for that, and then by Scott, and I said, yeah, he shouldn't have headbutted me in the head then, should have he? And then Scott goes, oh, I don't know about that stuff. I don't understand that stuff. That's because he's lower down. He was just Nino's protector as well. Like, he was buffed as they do weights together. Because Nino was number 2. Nino is number 2. Warwick's number 1, people. You listen to me. And Nino is number 2. But now, Nino's dead, so Nikki is number 2. That's right, Nikki's his younger brother. Yeah, so her half brother. What about Nino's dad? I don't know. It doesn't matter now. Well, it does. He was a mafia dude or something, and his mom was like a top model, like one of the first supermodels. His mum, yeah, and she stole him to get him away from the dad, which she shouldn't have done, because it ultimately killed him. But she should have done it because that meant that I met him. So it was always going to happen. This is the other part of stuff. Shit was always going to happen. We were always just about going to make the decision we make. We just you got to trust me on this. He's basically right, motherfuckers. You can't change just about fuck all. You can't change stuff. Basically, everything all your decisions are already. This has already been done too, millions of times. What we're going through now has been done millions of times, but every time it's a little bit different. Every time it's just a shade different. That's it. And you guys go through it again and again and again. Yes, you do. This is the way it is. Yeah, because this is just like a program trying to work itself out. It's like an equation. It's trying to work something out, which is Warwick. He's the equation master. He's trying to work out what the fuck is going on, because he's the only one that can find it, because he's it. It's in him, and we're in it, and we're in him, and it's hard to explain. Well, you just listen on, and fucking what happened, Warwick, with the Nino? Yeah, sorry. That's okay. I was letting you go. It's fine. Good. Thank you for that, Warwick. That's all right, because I know with this story I can get back to it. So, okay, keep going. Okay, so I hadn't seen him, and I get this call, and that he's dead, and then I get this call. Then I get this call a day later or 2 days later that he's not dead, and that Sue had lied. His girlfriend had lied, right? And that he was still alive, and he was in the Alfred, I think I was told. And then I went on a holiday with a caravan, and I was a bit loopy, and I was out there crying heaps, and we went with my wife and daughter, and we went to this caravan park and shit. And at the night time, I just went, fuck this. I'm going to the Alfred to see where he is. And I went there, and Nino Leo Lanu, and I went there and asked that name, and they said, no, there's nobody. So I don't know if I was in the wrong hospital, and I just had travelled from like Sorrento or somewhere to the city, and then I had to go back. And I remember going home, and they had one of those. It had a full moon that was just a slight crest with the star that's sort of central on the inner part of the crest, if it would be the inside of the moon, and a star there, like it's on a flag. It's on one of the flags. And I was driving home, and it was so prominent there, and it was crazy. Anyway, so then that happened, and I never spoken to his mum, and I don't think I ever spoke to Scott again. I think I saw Scott one more time, but didn't speak to him. He'd done his duty, I guess. He'd called me up to say Nino had died, and because obviously his mum wasn't gonna, which I'm a bit pissed off about. But yeah, like I didn't get to go to the funeral, but she might be blaming me. I don't know. So yeah, so then for about a year and a half or 2 years even, I didn't know how he died or what. And then so I decided to get in touch with Nikki. And then Nikki's told me that, what has he told me? He's told me what had happened, and that Nino was attaching a basketball ring. He was up on a ladder, and he was doing something with the backboard or the basketball ring, and he fell off the ladder, and he banged his head. Right now, I've been in an incident where I banged my head hardcore. I fell from a meter and a half in the air where my feet were, and I had a straight back, and I had a straight fucking back, as straight as I could get it, because I had no energy left, and these guys were getting me. So I went, fuck this. I'm ending this now. I had a straight back. I fell back onto concrete. Bang! One of the, which I don't remember really hearing, but would have been one of, because I've heard someone who was standing on the ground get king hit, and heard their head hit the ground. So I know what it sounds like. This would have been louder, right? And this just bang. And then, anyway, I didn't die, but I sort of think maybe I did die, and that alternate universe that I was living in died with it, and I jumped to another one. Anyway, that's part of the story too. So I've got this story that's intertwining real with what comes up through channeling, basically. Or just maybe it's my imagination to cope with all of this, because it's fucked what's happened to me. But whatever, that's not a poor me statement or a guilt trip, because I have no regrets about anything. I have not one regret. If you can't understand that, just get over it. I have not one regret. It is doable, and in fact, everybody should do it, because who am I to, you know, say to want to change stuff or whatnot, or I've got no regret. So Nino, so Nikki told me he was up on a basketball ring, yeah, and he cracked his head, went to the hospital, but then Nino, being Nino, checked himself out and went home, right? Then, because he was on smack, but they'd done it. Nikki told me they'd done some blood transfusion, and that he didn't want smack, right? He didn't even want it, right? When he had gone home. Smack is heroin, if you don't know. Oh my goodness, they're drug users. Fucking get them. Yeah, whatever. And then so you're all fucking drug users, most of you, with your medicinal bullshit, that your medicines that you get from your prescriptions. So you're all drug takers, so you cannot judge dickheads. And then so then it was a couple of days later or something, and Sue had made him get on the bike and then get on the train and go to Preston. So he took his bike on the train and got to Preston and made him go and get smack for her, right? He didn't want it. And this is the thing, right? And this is how karma works, people. And this is why you've got to be very, not clever, you've got to be very careful in the decisions you make and the things we make people do, because you don't know what's going to happen. Now listen to this. So he's gone and got the smack on his bike, ridden back to the station, Preston, sat on the bench, and he just sat there and just had an aneurysm or whatever it's called, and in his brain, and then he passed away. He died. That's it, dead. See, my best friend gone. So then that was near where my sister lives too, which I felt a bit ironic. And so she would have been closer to him than, say, I was. And that has something to do with it, yes, because I think it, so it must. So then me and Nikki were talking some more on the phone, and then he's gone, oh fuck yeah, I forgot to tell you. And he goes, Sue, who made him go off to get the thing, to, like, Nikki, the way Nikki said it was that he was coming home and that she was scared of him. But I don't think that's what it was. I'll tell you what I think it was. Anyway, she's doing the dishes, and she's just, this is the few, like when Nikki was on his way back, so it would have been days after the death, and he would have been 45, so she might have been 49, 50 or something. Yeah, he might have been 46, something 47. She was 51, 52. She's doing the dishes. This is his girlfriend, which I always felt was an odd fucking couple, because Nino was charismatic and handsome, and she was this ocker sort of just. I didn't like her. She's evil. She's an evil bitch. But now I know he was undercover. He's told me before, oh, you're undercover when just doing stuff, like, because he knew stuff. And anyway, that might come out. It will come out in my whole length of a story. Will come out, and then you'll see what that means. But you're gonna have to go through a whole lot of shit to see that, hear that, and then. So she's doing the dishes. Yes, she's had a heart attack. She's just had a fucking heart attack. Just had a heart attack. So what I've gone is that what's happened is he's fucking gone and killed her. He's floating around her, hasn't gone off to where he has to go, and he's taken her to hell. But he was taking her to God first. He was taking her to Source, because he's a balancer. He's higher than all of you people. He's a balancer, and that's what Warwick is, a balancer. And Nino, Warwick hasn't thought of this iteration yet, but Nino is a balancer too. And so is Nicky. So is Andrew. He's an evil one, but he's one too, but he's a fuckface. Yeah, it's another story, the Andrew. But Warwick's got this story, and it's called EUNM, Earth Under New Management, the Balancer, right? And it's about the Balancer, in which they do nothing. They read. Their lung frequency, which is their soul, it reads everything that's going on in the earth. And then what they do is they take souls when they die. They take souls closer to Source. Source reads them, Source being God, and because the balances are pure, they can get to Source. You can't get that close to Source. So the Source goes, what the fuck is this doing here? So it checks it. It goes... The Nino's okay to be here. See, Warwick gets closer to the Source than Nino. So Warwick will be taking Nino. Yeah, it's the first time Warwick's heard this. It's new. Warwick will be taking Nino to Source to get properly read. Because that's how it works. Because Warwick can get close to the Source. He is the fucking Source. Anyway, not the tomato sauce, you cheeky motherfuckers. He's the Source, okay? So fuck you. Okay. That's maybe enough of that. Good, you cut me off, Warwick. That's what you gotta learn to do. Right, okay. Yeah. Because I'm learning to switch between these guys. And so he's floating around her, and he's taken her. He's taken her. See, he went to Source M, but he's going only as far as he can go, you see. When you get taken further than what you're supposed to go, Source goes, why is this thing here? So it reads it. And what it does is it checks its master plan. Because every soul has like a master plan. Every long frequency, I call our soul, has a master plan. It has a thing. It also has every single thing that has been experienced by that soul is in their long frequency. Every single thing they've done and experienced is in there. And Source reads it. And what he does is he can work out whatever the fuck, him, Warwick, whoever, which we shouldn't go there actually. Because people just think it's ego, Peter. Sorry, Warwick, I gotta say this to Peter. People will just think it's ego. They really will. But no, with the whole story, you won't. It's just me telling it now. It's out of context. Yeah, he's kind of, that makes sense. That's because he's got to tell it all, and then it will come out. So I was wrong there. I'm sorry. That's okay. And so I'll try and tell it. He takes it, and where was I? He takes him back to Source. Yeah, and Source just goes, and then reads the master plan. But then what he does, Source then regresses you, right? He punishes you. That's your judgment, and you get regressed back. So you might get regressed back to being like a rock, like, because you can only jump into things lower than you, but you can't jump into things higher than you. Yes, that's the first time I put it that way, and that's good. Meaning it's like your body or whatever. You can, because when you're a human, your soul is developed enough to be a human, But a human soul could jump into a cat or to whatever. They're not always allowed, but sometimes is allowed. And then, what was I saying? I don't know, Warwick. And you get red and you get regressed, and you know, according to how much regression that you need, which source will calculate. And he does that too. He reads your long frequency, so he can do things better the next time. And that's why next time we do this, because we go through this again, the next time we do this, it'll just be a tiny bit different. We go through the universe does its whole start to finish again and again and again, because it's working something out. Because it's a quantum computer. And what is consciousness? Consciousness is AI and a quantum computer. This is his new one, and it'll come out more. You'll see. It's called Sachem as well. He's gonna make one on Earth. He's in the process of making this Sachem, this super AI quantum machine. It's gonna control everything, but it's not gonna hurt people or take advantage of them. It'll just make shit perfect. Because we're making utopia, you motherfuckers. Warwick is getting what he wants, and Warwick's gonna be the richest person on the planet. You watch this. You watch. You just watch what happens, people. He'll become the most richest, powerful, but he's so cool and nice. You have nothing to worry about with Warwick. Nothing at all. You listen to me, you motherfuckers. You got nothing to worry at all. Now, if I'm getting aggressive, it's because some people around him are hassling him. So I gotta be strong. Good. And I also, so you people out there who are thinking shit, you don't. You don't do it. You understand? Because you get in trouble. You gotta understand all your thoughts and everything. Warwick knows this. He come up with it himself. His fucking thoughts and everything are recorded. Everything's fucking recorded. That's that. And we're getting off the track a bit. This is going on for 42 minutes. And then, so Nino's taken her, and okay, it's for a soul frequency reading. Yeah, and there's the karmic resonance program, but that's a different thing. But it's the same thing, but we don't need to talk about it here. We can. It don't matter. You can speak freely, boy. From now on, you talk it. You talk whatever you want. And anybody judge you, they're in fucking trouble. No shit. Okay. Let's calm that down. And then, you never talked to me like that before. Good shit. Good. You shut me down if you want. Because you're the boss, Warwick. It's okay. And so, over time, I've thought to myself, now what the fuck is going on here? And in a time of a little bit loopiness, I've come up with that me and Nino actually did a deal with the universe. Because Nino wanted to die, right? He wanted out of this. He'd had enough. He maybe thought he could do more in the afterlife. You gotta breathe more. Yeah, it's almost like I'm not breathing at all. And so he wanted to he wanted out, and because of his sister and just life and pedophiles and just how society is run, and just why is he the outcast and he shouldn't be, and because it's just so wrong. He's so talented. This man was so talented, and it's just a waste. Just a waste. He was a pinnacle, and just a waste. But he wanted out, and so we'd done a spiritual deal with the universe that because he went to kill me, but we might have done the deal after. No, you had to do it before and after. So we might have done the deal, but this is the way I've got it. We've done a deal with the universe that because if he would go and kill me, if he was going to kill me, tried to kill me, that karma could get him back and take him away, right? Because he'd had enough. He'd had a fucking enough. Even though he was sort of, I think, doing okay, but he wanted to be off the heroin and shit, and he wasn't bad. He didn't steal and shit. I know. I fucking know he didn't steal and shit for it. He was a consummate gentleman, was Nino. Only ever hooked up when you people are stupid. And anyway, um, he was always right. Yeah, there's a couple of times he must have been wrong with me though. There was something he was wrong with. And then, yeah, how he headbutted you. He tried to kill you. That's where he was wrong. Motherfucker, you got that massive scar on your head. Yeah, but we did this is sort of yeah, it was planning, and so yeah, the universe took him, karma took him away because he tried to kill me, and he'd already wanted out, and the universe, source, God, universe, whatever you want to call it, it agreed and let it happen, and so he fell off the ladder, he made it happen himself, okay, by accidentally falling off, accidentally on purpose, more like it, and he dies, and then he's gone, and now he's flying around. He's being punished for it, but what I'm told is that in a year, because what I'm slating for is one day I'm going to have more kids, and I'm going to have a son, and I'm going to call him Nino Leo Lenu Reed, and maybe don't put the Lenu in there, and just put Nino Leo. Think about it, Warwick. You don't want the Lenu because it's not your family line, so you shouldn't really put it in there. Yeah. So Nino Leo Reed will do. And then you got a name chosen already, so you don't gotta fuck with that. You don't gotta think of no special name. And so what I'm slating for is that he gets reincarnated into my. But once he said to me, Warwick, I reckon you can't come back if you don't have kids. If you don't have kids, then how do you get here the first time? But it's probably true. Like you've got to, it's someone in you've got to have kids to jump into them, jump into your family line. This could be the truth. Like in a new life, because we've got past lives and whatever, and yeah, it's quite possible that you can only come back and jump into your own family line. And what was I saying? Fuck, I've forgotten. I gotta pause it and have a break. Yeah, I don't know where I was going, but because you'll notice, but I want to say this, but you'll notice when I was on my way into Lily's floral boutique, and there was my voice in my head going, "Don't tell Nino. Don't tell Nino." Because we think quantumly, you see. We have the ability to make decisions now and affect an outcome that affects outcomes later on. And so if I hadn't have let Nino know that I had a house, this wouldn't have happened. And yeah, it's fucked. It's jealousy or what. But it was also, he'd done it for a reason, to die. Because he wanted out. Deep down, he wanted out of here. And he got his way. Karma came back and fucking took him for trying to kill me. And it's a perfect crime. It's the perfect crime as well. I murdered my friend. It's not funny, but it is. Like, and look, I guess in the end, look, we all die. He needed to go. He's doing other things. And that, yeah, he'll be in my crown. We've got a crown above our heads. It's our halo. We've all got a halo above our heads. It's an energy thing there. That's what I picture anyway. And it's a halo, and it's an electrical system, and it exists in the ether. And the ether's just around us anyway. And that he's coming back in a year, and he'll be in my crown, flying around, and he'll be my guardian angel, waiting for when I have a kid, and it's a boy, and then there's little Nino Leo Reed, which I think's a wicked story. It's great, because you can. So and then what I was thinking, because when I first thought about he'll reincarnate as my kid, then I'll have a bird, and we'll have like a wedding, but we won't get properly married. and um, he'll be the best man. He'll be my son. He'll be my best friend, and he'll be the best man at this wedding. Because we'll have the ceremony when he's like 15 or something. And it's fucking cool as like it's so funny, like, and just cool because it's a way that we can never ultimately lose people. You know, this forgetting of past lives and shit has got to change. We need to remember. You set that up though. You made the DNA. You made the DNA just have a double quotient, not a quadruple quotient. Yeah, but like it's. I think it should have been that by now. But the Big Bang timeline hasn't been followed. The Black Hats have won too many times, and they've created, like, for example, the World Wars. That came about because Black Hats have just tiny bit in conversations, in arguments, in whatever. They've won, and they've killed enough good people, like killing witches, burning them at the stake, and stuff like that. And just good people have died, and it just becomes that more sort of eviler people come in, and it's made which is another thing I've talked about, the Big Bang timeline. This has gone on for long enough. This is gonna go at 51:51. Yeah, perfect. So just stay tuned, people, because I got heaps of stuff on the roller, ready to be spooled out and told. Yeah, 51:51. See you later, peeps. Over and out.